Hi guys. Um, I am pretty much done. Yay! You'll see that the leather's kind of darkened mostly. That's because I went back over it one more time with some water. Just a quick wash down. I noticed I got a little dirt on the head here and a little up here from the table somehow. Well, it happens. So I've just kind of scrubbed it a little bit just to make sure. Yeah, I don't want lots of dirt on there first. Uh, I'm also going to be sticking this oven. It's going to be set for 190 and 109 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius, but uh, I'm going to leave it in there for a while. Probably like 30 minutes or so, and go from there. And we'll see how it's doing. You don't want the temperature too high. You know, you can actually totally mess your piece up pretty badly, actually, if you put it up too high. It will start to warp and almost melt the leather. We don't want that. Not after all this work, right? So we just want to take our times with it. Time with it, not times. We're not selling the times or anything. I'm going back in these guys real quick and just kind of popping them out, making sure everything looks good. I'll show you the things I did work on. So I put little faces on here on either side with little bars behind. And I actually ended up just deciding to put the salamander on the other side. So I now have two salamanders. And this is the original one. And then this is the other one. And I actually end up putting flames on here because he's engulfed in flames. Oh, and here's the skull on top with the fleur-de-lis type leaves. And on the bottom, like I said, I just did a checker mark thing. I did notice that my glue it's not like it's coming undone or anything, but my edge, this is why skeeving is really important. It's not as smooth as I personally would like, and that's a little frustrating, and I just kind of have to live with that. This is the bottom, thank God. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could try and just push this down and in a little, and that could actually help it some, you know. But overall, it's in great shape, and I don't want to mess with it too much. Oh, see, I just pulled up a corner. After a lot of wiping down, I have been wetting this glue a lot, so I got to be a little careful with that. I want it to dry and harden. So if it starts flipping up or anything, then it's going to dry flipped up, and we don't want that. Anyway, so this is it. This has been the project to how to make one of these. When this is done drying in the oven, I will take it out and we'll go ahead and do the cut. Pull it apart and you can see the finished product. Well, we'll probably oil this. I will be oiling this after all is said and done, just to give it a protective coat and to condition it. You know, you wanna protect it some. I'm not waxing this. Something I've read recently on some conservators' sites and papers is that they don't think that it was originally really waxed for these things, which I didn't know until just recently. They believe that most of the times when you see them like a lot of wax on there and stuff, what they did was, it was much later, like in the 1800s, around the Victorian time period, that they started adding the wax, thinking that that was a good way to care for it. But what happened was it actually prevented any oils from getting inside, and they were supposed to be oiled but not wax, like a conditioning oil, lotion stuff. But if you used wax, the problem was you were sealing it and you were preventing the oils from actually getting into the leather, so it never got conditioned. And what happened was the leather dried out. And because the leather dried out, you start seeing the tears and stuff where they're like cut marks, sometimes you'll see, or they rot in certain spots and peel away, and you can see the stitching underneath past the glued layer. So I'm not going to wax it. I understand the nature of waxing. Armor, definitely. If you do, there's a really cool technique. That's the oven going ding. There's a cool technique for you apply the leather to very warm leather, I'm sorry, you apply the wax. And then you can heat it up. I think somebody was saying with a heat gun. I don't know if that's maybe too extreme, but blow dryer would work, I think. Anyway, I am not a an armorer, so I've never made leather armor, so I really wouldn't be able to tell you much in that area. So I'm gonna stifu about that part. But cases, though, are a little different. They're meant to contain an item and, protect that item. And this is 4 layers of leather, and they've all been glued pretty much. And the glue has seeped into the leather, which has allowed that porous leather to now it's going to be hardened with that stuff inside the pores. So now it's like every little pore wall, all those little openings, now all have like a hardcore coating of this hard leather hide glue when it's been dried. It's strong, it's hard stuff. So it'll be really cool to show you guys how this actually works when we're done. But this is like armor. So I'm gonna go stick it in the oven, and when we're done and I'm ready to cut it, I'll record that. See you guys soon.